Me and my friend found the jungle and like we like a 3x3 treehouse, and then we just started standing in like a in the middle of the jungle. And had a bunch of like you had
I hate that. You hate water. I remember like gas is so annoying.
Also, when I was playing my castle, my brother was.
Okay, guys. All right, sorry. I just remembered I have to record this class. It's the second class of the day I have to record. I don't have to stream it though. Oh, now that Cammy's online, maybe I do have to stream it live. Anyway, now we are starting this. Cammy, when you hear this, that's fine. I don't mind. Sarah? Not read something, but like whatever the homework you did last week, that's what I should be checking.
No, it's due on Tuesday, you said.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Because it's the Hercules reading. That's on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, for y'all. I'm talking to computer kids.
Oh.
But yeah, so what do you feel like the video's not for you or something? Just as quick. Oh, because those. So okay. The back out of that. So yeah, you skip that.
Did you do the presentation yet?
I was watching Cat so long ago.
Yeah, you want. So yeah, probably. So yeah, for sure. All right, guys. I actually have to like fully start. So voices off. Again, computer kids. That's Adrian 2. You're gonna go to the WordPress and look at Thursday's video. So you got to go to the Google form from lthsnowday.home.blog. Then you go to Thursday's Google form. Then it'll be the second video on the Google form. Okay. Now I'm actually starting. So, all right. Today we're gonna review chapter 15 and 16. Okay, yeah. 15 and 16. Because we're still reviewing this week. Again, we are like technically on chapter 20, but I want to review all the way up to chapter 19. Just because I would normally do that anyway, but it's like we especially need to do it since that was a quarantine era, those chapters for you guys. Tomorrow, the Hercules reading will be due. Isn't it just like the rest of the first paragraph? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that. That's me going easy on y'all. Just finish the first paragraph of Hercules. We'll finish it tomorrow. We'll do the second paragraph on like spot translating on Wednesday, and we'll start reviewing declensions tomorrow. Okay, I'm a little worried about where you guys are at with declensions. Okay, in chapter 20, you get the fourth declension, so we really need to just like have the first 3 declensions. Maybe I'll even give you guys these, which are meant for my 1.5 kids, but I think everybody needs them. Yeah, we'll actually do that tomorrow. Okay, cool. And then Thursday, for many of you, you're making up the chapter 17 through 19 quiz on Thursday. But for all of us, if you're not doing that, because you're Cammy or Lucy, basically, then we will review herb endings, apparently, and chapter 17 and 18. So we'll almost be caught up at that point, and the next Monday we'll do like 19, and then you'll be caught up to where you are. And then we'll have like, because this is kind of like the first week of chapter 20, sort of. Last week was like a preview review week. This week it's like actually kind of chapter 20 time. So you'll take chapter 20 quiz. Let's say I pick 15 from chapter 20. So it won't even be 20. It'll be just 15, which will probably be most of them. I don't think it's a huge vocab chapter. Yeah. And the next week, at the end of next week, we'll have a chapter 20 translation quiz. And we'll almost be back into like the normal groove of things where we spend about 2 weeks on every chapter. It's going to be great. And then what? It's like the week after that, I think we have a 3-day weekend, so that's fun. All right. Keep in mind, weeks are cool this year. Just 4 full days you got to get through, and then Friday is this tiny day. For us, Fridays are always going to be like a short Jeopardy, maybe also a short quiz. And we'll eventually get some history in there too. These are the chapter 20 words. You need to know them by Friday. So for quiz makeup kids, you do have a lot of vocab to learn this week. But your homework is pretty light this week, right? Like you might have already done the Hercules.
This isn't related at all, but we're just wondering, like, what are the student
Student IDs? Oh, that's for...
discounts and stuff.
Wait, what? I wish.
Wait, I think you mean like some kind of online ID?
No, like
Like a physical.
Oh, y'all make they're giving them to y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I had one of those at my high school when I was a kid, so maybe that's just a thing. I don't know. I don't really know why you need it. Don't know. Anyway, most of these are nouns. You can see there what declension nouns. Anyone? No, there are actually 4. So see, well, this first one, this is just a plural second. But then these US in the nominative, long US in the genitive, those are all 4th. So it's basically all 4th declension. Here's a third one hidden in there. And then we have a few adjectives and then like 5 or 6 verbs. So it's just a bunch of nouns, 3 adjectives, and like 6 or 7 verbs or whatever. Not too hard, but Friday you're gonna need to know this. And these are gonna be showing up in the Hercules reading too. So remember how your textbook works. You can always just flip open to chapter 20. You flip a few pages into it, and it's there. Oh, we're gonna ask for the page number, Elena. It would be good if somebody could find it real quick. That actually I can find it also right now real quick. That is gonna be on page 164. I should add that to the PowerPoint, but online kids, it's 164. All right, what else are we looking at? Oh yeah, now it's review time. Okay. I hope this review is useful, guys. Oh wait, first, here's the 4th declension. This is the grammar of chapter 20. This is basically all of the grammar in chapter 20. Is there really any other concepts? Let's see. I don't think so. Yep, 4th declension, and then they add a couple of ablatives. Ablatives that we've already talked about. Ablative in place where, which is like the easiest ablative. So it's these green endings are basically the grammar of this chapter. So yeah, remember how it works? You just gotta like learn a bunch of new words for this chapter, and then you gotta learn these endings basically. And part of that will be learning the old endings too, and we'll focus on that tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll make a handy noun chart. It's gonna be really fun. So if you have gel pens or colored pens or something, bring them tomorrow. All right, but it's just a lot of US. It's just a lot of this long US, which shows the genitive singular and nominative plural. Unless it's neuter, we only have one neuter one, it's cornu. And then we have UI. That I kind of makes me think of 3rd declension long I. That's a very standard accusative looking ending. This is a very standard ablative ending. Okay, it's like U is showing up in all of the endings basically. You're done with that? Awesome. The genitive, that's kind of like 3rd declension, so it's 2 U's. And then ibis, our good old friend ibis. Now there's 2 ibises, 2 ises, 2 ibises, and ablative native plural. And the accusative plural is kind of weird. So you're going to get this mixed up with genitive singular, mixed up with nominative plural. Way too many long US's. But you differentiate the long US from the short US. Short US, that's just good old nominative. Long US is possessive or plural nom or accusative. Okay, this is chapter 15. It was all about numbers, right? We already kind of talked about this when we were reviewing our tablets. What's that, Alyssa? The video is what? There's no noise at all this time? Okay, so my mic must be rotated. What? Yeah, so that's bad. But that the PowerPoint, that one, it is meant to like, it's just kind of like, sorry. And are we sure about that? Did you don't cut down anywhere else? But if this computer sometimes like their sound just like doesn't work for like totally random reasons. Sorry, I might have to redo a video, but you'll have something to watch tomorrow that should have sound. My mic was on, so. Okay. So much stuff to keep up with. It's like crazy this year. All right, we got numbers in chapter 15. Yeah, computer kids, try to get what you can out of like watching that, and good luck. I'm sorry. Well, it was Socrates in the class though. Chapter 15 was about numbers. Okay, we talked about this a little bit last week with ablative, with cardinal numbers, where X, we treat X as like, oh, like 3 of the sailors. This is just a reminder that the only ones that decline are 1, 2, and 3. They don't put 1 here because they show you the declension for 1 back in chapter 9, unus, but it's very similar to these. So unus, duo, and tre actually do decline, and then thousands does too, mille. But then none of the other numbers decline, and that's actually a blessing. It's a really good thing that they don't decline, because that would, I mean, that'd be crazy if every number in Latin declined in like a unique way. That would be impossible. Does anybody want to try to translate the first one here? Tre pueri duabus puellis Rosas Dederunt. Duabus is weird, but Duabus is agreeing with Pualis here. They are probably, I'm thinking, dated plural. Phoenix? Good. Or had given. Yeah, they had given roses to two girls, or since that sounds kind of weird in English, they gave two girls roses. Good. So yeah, you said 3 of the boys. That's fine. Here though, Trace is just supposed to kind of like be directly modifying Pulari, and there's no X, so there's no real reason for us to add like 3 of. We can just say 3 boys. But yeah, Trace there is nominative. It's technically plural, not that you can really tell, and it's modifying Pulari, which is nominative plural. So they can just agree with the noun and modify it, and it's only going to change potentially if it's first. I guess it's the number 1, 2, or 3. Let's just do that second one and then not do the third and fourth. If we can do that second one, Octo Pulari, Decim, Pualis, Libros, Dederunt. Interesting. There's something kind of weird. There's kind of a weird trick to one of the words here. 8?
8 boys.
It's actually. Oh wait, here it's Oh, it is just gave. Sorry, Phoenix. This is just perfect. I don't know why I thought it was blue perfect. That'd be ERANT. It's just gave. They give books to girls. How many girls did they give the books to? Yeah. So what's weird about this is that Octo, it's kind of easy for us to tell that that's just nominative. It's just going with Pulari. Octo doesn't decline, but it doesn't feel hard to like figure out that it's going with Octo. But then Decim, we don't really know what Decim is going with. The ending of Decim is not going to change because 10 is one of the many hundreds of numbers in line that does not decline. So we just kind of use context clues to realize that it's going with Pualis. It does agree in that like Decim is plural automatically, right? Because it means 10. It's not ever going to be singular. Pualis is plural. It's right next to Pualis. We already know that the number of boys is 8, so it's not going with boys. So yeah, we're just using context clues here to figure out that the indirect object is 10 girls, which is like a little tricky, but it's not too bad. Computer kids, did y'all find anything else out about the sound? No? And it's not working for any of y'all? All right, here's this a no. I'm sorry, computer kids. It's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. Although, like, I thought it always fooled me when my mic wasn't on. Like, I should stop right now and check to see. Yep, it says the mic is on. All right, who knows? We have a genitive of the whole. Yes. Weird. So, oh, okay. So this is just the video of us playing Jeopardy. It should be the video. Have y'all watched the one of me checking the homework yet? Yeah, you did last week. When we would have checked it on Thursday, right? This should be me checking the homework. Like we're about to play Jeopardy, or I'm just saying like.
You said happy birthday, Maddie.
Oh, okay. Y'all are still in the wrong video. I'm sorry. This is my fault. I don't care now. Go back to the word though. One more time. Okay. Teachers are spread so thin this year. It's like this. So click on Go to Thursday. Click on the Google form. And what you just did. And the second. Oh no, let's do the first. So just go to my YouTube. Yeah, so just go look at my YouTube.
No, but how hard is it? Why did they do so
Depends on your life.
I know.
Look, if you have to like die,
Well, but you just have to go through. Like if you were to touch your whoa. Unless you're just like one quick. You're so far you get out of it.
I just feel like
always
I did that.
cord, you're dead, so it's not like
It's the second most recent video. So go to my YouTube page, find the second most recent video. Adrian, do you hear that? Go to Mr. Calvinello's YouTube page and find the second most recent video I uploaded. That is the right video. There should be sound. Okay, guys. I'm getting there. I'm learning. Okay. There's a genitive of the whole, all right? So there's like two ways to say that there's like a number of something. You can do it with the ablative with the cardinal number, x whatever, x pueris, like 3 of the boys, Trey, x pueris. Or you can use a genitive, so like part of the city. I mean, it's kind of a different thing, but there's that. We have ablative with cardinal numbers, as I was just talking about. 3 of my friends. If you say 3, no, you have to say 3 of my friends. 5 of them. Okay, this is ablative and it's just a personal pronoun, so it's going to be something like them. A certain one of them, we need to add one ourselves because this means like certain one of them. Kinsum ex viris, 100 men or 100 of the men, either way. And I did not explain gender of the whole very well, so let me like go back to that real quick. These are where we have like a nominative right next to a genitive, and you can translate it the blank of the something. I mean, it's really just translating a normal genitive, but there are a few of them where you actually drop the of. And say, instead of saying what of the plan, we would just translate that as what plan. They give us these weird idiomatic examples, but they never really showed up in translation. So hopefully that's not a really big deal. But if you look at these bottom examples, it's like you're just kind of dropping the of that you would normally translate with a genitive. So just keep that in the, like filed away in the back of your mind. It never really showed up for us too much. Hayden?
When are we getting a Latin
Dictionaries? Never. No. So how about tomorrow? I know I said when y'all took the quiz. Oh, but your homework is due. Is this an essay? Is this my essay?
Yeah.
Miss
No,
Newburns?
well, like,
At least for y'all, we can give y'all the dictionary spring essay. And a lot of them, it's like ones that you had last year because you put your name in it. So
Yeah.
someone remind me when I'm sitting over there to like give y'all the, get it out of the way. Okay, ablative with cardinal numbers. Good. We get it. Ablative of time when. That's not too bad. Oh, so here they are. So you use at, on, in, or within to translate the ablative of time when. So that would be like at that time. This is a demonstrative. At that time, I will not be able to make it. I will not be able to make it at that time. The second one is farmers are well in good years, or with during, not during. They don't want you to use during. In sounds a little weird. In good years. I guess you say in a year, or within good years. They played in the summer. I'm just using in there. And then in a few hours, he will make it. She will make it. Ablative of time when. We talked about it last week, so I don't need to spend so much time on it. And then, again, the only other thing is that remember there is a ordinal version of every number. And those take some time to, like, sometimes you'll see them and be like, wait, that looks familiar. But it's not 8, it's 8. Because it's going to be octavus, octavum. So, yeah, most of them are pretty recognizable. They're similar to the cardinal. I know this is a little low resolution. The weirdest ones are probably first and second. So, I mean, second's not weird at all. You'll never not be able to think of what secundus means. But primus does not look like unus, just like the word first doesn't look like the number one or the word one in English. But then after that, after tertius, which is a little different than tre, they kind of look just like their cardinal, but they're ready to be declined into any of the first or second declension endings. Because they function like regular adjectives, whereas these never change, and you have to use context clues to like figure out what noun they might be going with. These, the ending will probably match the thing they're going with, or at the very least it'll be the same case number and gender. And then don't forget your Roman numerals, guys. Oh yeah, remember I did that horrible color scheme for like 3 days before I dropped it? Chapter 16 is real quick. I'm not going to dwell on it. That's just third declension adjectives. So this is just like a DLC patch update to our third declension nouns, where like we suddenly get adjectives that actually have the third declension ending. They're just like the noun endings. There's some kind of tedium in the fact that there's 3 different types of these. There's the ones with 2 endings, where they have a neuter ending that is E compared to the nominative, which is IS. But other than that, they're actually kind of like I stem third declensions. If you look at the IUM in genitive and the IA in neuter. So fortis means strong. What does dulcus mean? Anyone out loud? Yeah, sweet, good. Factilis means what? Not strong. You think of forte again. Fortis is strong or brave. Factilis is the opposite of difficile. Yeah, easy. Omnis is all or like every. And brevis is, yeah, brief or short, good. And then we have the ones of 3 endings. Doesn't really matter. This doesn't really like come up too much. But like masculine and feminine could be either ending in an R or an IS, and neuter ends in E. Who really cares? So it doesn't really matter. There's never gonna be a moment where you're like, which of the 30 adjectives is this? Other than that, again, they're like normal I stem third declensions, which we talked about on Thursday. What does acer mean? Bitter, like acrid in English. Hilaire means what? I think I heard it swift. We get the word accelerate from that. That's the only thing that helps. And then lastly, ones of 1 ending, where regardless of the gender, it's ending in 1 way, and it ends in normal I stem endings after that. What was potens? Yeah, like powerful. Strong is okay too. It's kind of synonymous. It overlaps with fortis. In games, yeah, giant or huge. And senex means old. So senex can mean old man or old, the adjective. All right, that's chapter 16. Congratulations, guys. You guys remember everything up to chapter 16. We just got to do 17, 18, 19, which y'all did already learn the vocab of those chapters. But yeah, this chapter, it's mostly you're getting, remind me to look at chapter 15 vocabulary if you have any free time. But here's 16. It's mostly third declension adjectives. They give us some old school first and second declension adjectives like clement. No, not clementia is a noun. Do they? Yeah, eucundus, pleasant. We never see that one. Longest means long. Those are old school adjectives. And then we only get 1 verb that chapter. That's weird. And we get quam. Okay, all right, cool. And we get this noun that means age, very close to the noun meaning summer. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's get back to chapter 20 a little bit. I think I have a couple of warm-ups here. Let's try to spot translate these, and then I might give you time to work on Hercules, honestly, for a little while. Have we done this one? No, there's not. Okay, this looks super hard. Who wants to read it? Anybody? All right, I'll do it. Fine. All right. There's a lot of chapter 19 stuff going on.
Elena was raising her hand.
Oh, Elena, sorry. Thank you. Good. Yeah, good. Quibus generibus scelerum sinistrorum illidui civitates delatae erunt. Let's just, like, before we even start looking at the grammar, let's just, like, attack this in terms of vocab. Let's figure out what all these words actually mean. Because I know you guys are, like, I feel like you're probably rustiest with vocabulary, honestly. Like, grammar, I think the remnants of grammar kind of stick around for a longer time, whereas words over the summer start to, like, vanish. So let's just go through literally left to right, and y'all can just say it out loud. What is quibus going to be? What are our options for quibus? You have to probably write down some of the words you're like, I definitely know that word is. Maybe a who. It might be a who. It depends. Who? What else could it maybe be? A phoenix? Yeah, maybe a witch. Maybe a witch. Maybe a that. I feel like we wouldn't start a question with that. And this is a question. I can see that. So let's if who or which. We'll come back to it. Generibus. The term genus. Generis. Yeah, origin, kind, or type. It's very close to Gaines Gentis. which means like clan or people, kind of, or clan or race. So don't get it mixed up with Gaines Gintis. Those are two nouns that are very similar. Scalarum, I think that's a chapter 19 or 20 words, so it's like very new. Bailey? You're thinking, what are you thinking of? Oh, well, it looks like Scola. Scola is the word for school for function. And we have Ludus now, which means gamer school. Where this is more like similar to Insidia. Yeah, evil deeds or like wickedness. Very dramatic word. The kind of stuff that like Disney villains do. Scalarum. It is a third declension noun. Sinistrorum, that is definitely chapter 20, right? Sinistrorum means it's from what? Yeah, we can actually kind of translate this as sinister or like what is it? Ill something omened or ill. Yeah. So is it right or left? Yeah. So it can both mean like wicked or ominous, or left hand. So I think the context is already telling me what it is, left or like yeah, sinister is fine. Sinister. Why complicated? Ili, what's Ili, Cora? Ili is.
It's like
Kaikok is this, so Illa is
that.
Yeah, exactly. It is the demonstrative thing that's like farther away from you than Kaikok, which is like this, something that's closer to you. What is Duai, Caden? What number is that? I'm kind of messing with you, but like maybe you could have picked it up from 3 sides ago. Luke? Yeah, it's 2, right? Some people come to Latin knowing like a little bit of Spanish or French, so I thought maybe you would. Kiwitates, what is Kiwitate? It's LTA, we're trying to teach people how to be good, Carly. Yeah, I need you to get to your book. Citizens. And then I feel like I'm most intimidated by the last 2 words here. Luke, you know what the late comes from? Oh, to what? Yeah, good. And can you tell me what it's doing with a root? Like what's happening here? It's like even I feel rusty. Fine. Write your name in it. Because we have a form of assume essay there. So this is it's 2 P words. Did y'all hear me? Luke. So what's happening is here we've gotten a 4th principal part of a verb, and we've added it. Those are not the P words actually, weirdly, and we added to a form of assume essay to equal the anyone? Close, the perfect passive. The perfect passive. Okay, on I think it's Thursday, I have it that we're gonna review just normal passive. I think in chapter 17 is when we get like normal passive verbs. We get present passive, future passive, and imperfect passive. And then in chapter, is it the next chapter, 18? Maybe 19. They give you perfect passive, which is like, it's just another tense of the passive, but they're formed in a very distinct and different way. With present passive, it was just like we needed to add these endings to basically the stem of the verb. And it's just one word. But when you're doing perfect passive, for some reason, it splits off into these 2 parts. And the erunt tells us the tense. Erunt is just telling us this is just perfect passive. It's not perfect passive or future passive. That would be errant or errant, ERINT. So, does anybody want to tell me what this is going to be? Because we know it's from this verb destroy, because Luke said that. I see it's 3rd person plural, so it's agreeing with some kind of like plural nominative. And it's going to be what? It's going to be like they blank, 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 blank. Those blanks are for syllables, not for words. Anyone? What's that going to be? Because the present passive, where it's any one of these endings, I'll just finish them. Oh, this guy is a really weird 2nd person plural ending. Those are like I am verb, you are verb, it is verb, we are verb. But this is perfect passive, so it's going to be what? not like they are verbs. Phoenix. Destroyed, yeah. So it's gonna be something like they have been verb. They have been deleted. All right, now let's start to put it together. So do we think quibus is who or which? Someone said which? Yeah, I think it's which. The reason I think that is because I can tell it's right next to a word that is the same case as it. What case do we think maybe those are? I actually don't know yet. It's either blank or blank. Bailey? Yeah, either ablative or dative. Probably. Well, we'll find out. I bet it's actually ablative. But the fact that quibus is right next to an ablative buddy, that makes me think we're going to be asking about that ablative buddy. Meaning this is an interrogative adjective. Think of quibus as like, it's kind of weird. It's a pronoun that's kind of like doing an adjective-y kind of thing by not like going with generibus the way an adjective would by matching the case number and gender. So we're asking about generibus. So what are those first two words? How should we start it off? Yeah, which types? It's technically plural, but we might not need to worry about that too much. And let's say it's just ablative. What preposition could we just automatically whip out? Let's put be. It's hard to know that you're supposed to do this. Maybe like by which types? By which types? What case is scalarum? I'm going to use by just because I think, well, actually, I'm thinking maybe we have an ablative of means here. Perfect passives, when you have a passive verb around, you're often going to have either an ablative of means or an ablative of agent. Phoenix? Not accusative. It's third declension. It's scella scalaris. The accusative would be scalarim with em. This um actually means it is what? It's the worst um in the whole bunch. It's a genitive I don't like it either. Okay. I didn't make up the rules. All right, I just teach it. All right, by which types of evil deeds, of sinister evil deeds, okay? The sinistrorum. So sinistrorum, that is definitely genitive, right? Like it's a clearly genitive. Oh, am I saying they're dative? Is that what blue is? Interesting. So by which type of evil deeds, they must be genitive. It should be pink. That's my genitive color. Erase it. And then what? We still don't have a subject. By which deeds, or types rather, is not a subject. What kind of subject be, Phoenix? Kind of that, but could we have a they? Yeah. Yeah, not just two citizens, but those two citizens. So by which types of wicked or sinister wickedness, that sounds redundant, are, or not are, because it's perfect passive, so what should it be? Not are, what's my helping verb starts with an H? Yeah, so by which types of sinister wickedness have those two citizen subjects been destroyed? And I just kind of skipped will have. It's not will have, that'd be errant. I'm almost positive. Let's just ignore will. All right. Not will have, but maybe I should verify that. Good. Yeah. Deeds. Wicked deeds. Have those two citizens. Yeah, Ben, thank you. Okay. Adrian, what happened to your computer? You have headphones?
No, I forgot them.
Okay, y'all need to not forget headphones because you can't. You're just you lose a whole class. You lose an hour worth of productivity. I don't know. You should look through your vocab words or something. Okay, so it's have those two subjects been destroyed. So that seemed really hard. Yeah, seemed really hard. It did, right? It seemed really hard. That's okay. We're still warming up. We're still doing a lot of review. All right. This one's not too bad. We can do this one real quick. This is a sententiae antiqui, but it does involve us looking at cornua here. It's a fourth declension neuter noun. It's going to be either nominative or accusative. And what does cornus mean in corn? Who can just do this one real quick? It'll illustrate for us that like sometimes you have sentences that take like entire minutes of time to translate, and then you have ones that you can just kind of do real quick. Careless means stag, and I'm not going to say what Casey is. What's our subject in this one, Hayden? Cordoba? Okay, so what? What do the subjects do? I don't know. All the vocab pretty clear. Periculus is a real old word from chapter 4. Defendant, I'm not even going to say what that means. All right, Phoenix?
The horns of the stag defended from danger.
Close. It's actually just the horns defend the stag direct object from danger. And that's an ablative of separation. But yeah, Carolyn is just the direct object. But I know you just translated a third declension genitive that had the UM ending, so that's what you were thinking of. Yeah, careless here is just second declension, so that UM would be an accusative. Okay. We have some Oedipus stuff. Oh yeah, this is a really dark sentence. I don't read Oedipus Rex until next year. What is this? Oedipus does what? He deprives Phoenix? Yeah, or just 2 eyes from himself. That's what he does at the end of the play. Spoiler, we have something about Themistocles. Let's skip it for now. I want to give you guys some time to work on the Hercules. So it starts with this sentence. We just did the first 3. So go ahead and work on Hercules, and please call me over if you get stuck. If y'all are seeming real rusty. I expected y'all to be rusty, but we gotta de-rust goodbye. So call me over if you need help. And we want to finish the first paragraph. Oh yeah, you can. I have extra copies of that. Did anybody need before it? Like, did you work here on the 3rd? All right, y'all can work on that. If you're watching this on the internet tomorrow, then you should just work through that, and then the next video I'll actually be checking this. But I'm gonna stop recording for now.